How's it going? Dr. Wiki here. Today we got a lot of information dropped by Merrick Robus of Madfinger Games regarding the early access release date for Gray Zone Warfare, changes that are going to take place, as well as the pricing for each tier of the game that is up for grabs. In this video, we're going to specifically hit on the pre-release tiers, as well as some of the pricing details and what benefits you stand to gain from your purchase. Here we go. Guys, get on in here. We're going to continue looking at the Gray Zone Warfare Steam page here right now. If you've not wishlisted Gray Zone Warfare and you're interested in the game, I suggest that you hop over there and wishlist the game right now. There's going to be a total of 4 different editions. We've got Standard Edition, Tactical Edition, Elite Edition, and Supporter Edition, all varying in price levels. I think it's really great that Madfingers has set themselves up for success here. In my mind, you know, some people don't want to take a lot of risk on a new game, or they don't want to spend a lot of money on an early access release because, I mean, let's just face it, we've been burned lately. We've been burned, and so it's really cool to see that they've done this to offer different tiers for people to show their own support levels. And so we're going to go ahead and start with the Standard Edition, which is pretty straightforward. You get the base game, everything that you would expect to get in a base edition, you're going to have. So starting with a 10 by 25 locker, and basically what they're referring to is the stash space. And I'm going to tell you right now, stash space is like critical. Like, especially early on in the game when you need to bank up some resources for yourself as far as weapons go and whatnot. When you die and you don't have a gun that you can just grab out of the stash to go back, that's low risk. It will kind of eat into your funds. So locker space is really important. So you can see here that they've allowed players to gain more locker space based off of their commitment level within the game. And if you're still unsure about it, I'd say a really great way to start would just be to jump into Standard. You're not going to hit a lot of problems, but if you're wanting to commit to the game, I could see the value that they're showing here with the 10 by 60 or the 10 by 45 stash space. So anyways, going down the box here, and I'll blow this up for you, but we've got the secure lockbox, which is a little lockbox that you always have on your character. And essentially what this does is it acts as a safe for your character. If you put things in this after you die, they will stay in that safe. So things like keys or mission critical items, things like that, or things of that nature that you always need to make sure you have on you, will stay in that space. And you can see here they've got 2 by 2 by 2 by 2 and a 3 by 2 and a 3 by 3. So these are really great. I don't know if you can find these in the game. It seems like over the course of the creator playtest, there was some people making posts saying that they are finding better security lockers or secure lockers. So I don't know if these actual additions will be tied into the game or not, but having those from the get-go would be very helpful. So Standard Edition equipment, we would get that. I'm not quite sure what that entails, so let's see if we can divulge that here. We'll jump over to the Tactical Edition. So Standard Edition, so locker size 10 by 25, like we've already covered. We get 10,000 in-game, so two assault rifles, 2 pistols, 2 stun grenades, 8 assault rifle magazines, 4 pistol magazines, 2 culminators, 480 rounds of assault rifle ammunition, 200 rounds of pistol ammunition, 2 helmets, 2 ballistic vests, 2 tactical rigs, 2 backpacks, 2 belts, 2 meds, 2 headsets, 2 glasses, 2 hats, 2 combat meals, 3 combat meals, 3 water, 2 splints, 2 surgical kits, 6 bandages, 2 tourniquets, 2 painkillers, 2 blood bags, and 2 large blood bags. These are all really helpful items. As you gain more money in the game, these things are a lot easier to just come by and have and buy and whatever. It seemed like this is kind of what we started with when we joined the creator playtest, this 2 assault rifles and 2 pistols. It feels like that's what I remember seeing when I first jumped in there the first time. But having all these items here just means you don't have to buy this stuff, because you do go through mags and you do go through rounds and all that stuff. The only thing here is that I'm willing to bet that the assault rifle or the pistol ammunition is probably like the bare bones ammo that's in the game, which is typically a just like a standard round. And then they've got full metal jacket rounds. They've got all kinds of different ammunition that will do different things ballistically when you hit targets. So I'm willing to bet that some of these are probably just the basic ammo for these weapons, but don't quote me on that. So let's move on to the next edition here. We're in the tactical edition right now, which is going to be coming in at a price point of $37. So I don't think I mentioned it on the last one. So the standard edition is going to be $35 for you to just jump in there, low risk. 57 is this tactical edition that we're talking about right now. So tactical edition, we get all of that same stuff. It looks like I'm wondering if they got these mixed up, because we've got additional tactical equipment. Okay, here we go. So 1 assault rifle, 3 more additional assault rifle mags, 2 more grenades, 180 assault rifle ammunition, 2 foregrips, which are super helpful. I got one of those at the end of the playtest, and the gun, operating the gun felt like night and day. It was pretty cool. 1 helmet, 1 ballistic vest, 1 tactical rig, 1 backpack, 1 leather wallet, 1 headset, 1 combat meal, 1 water, 2 bandages, and 1 tourniquet. And that's in addition to what you get from the standard edition. So really great. I think, you know, having more weapons at the beginning is very important, because you do lose them. And if you're going to jump into the game at like go run solo and whatnot, you got to try and minimize risk, at least at the beginning, it feels like. So one of those things involves just going out into the field and collecting some of the weapons that you run into out in the field and using that ammunition, because then you're not biting into your resources, you know. So having rigs and whatnot set up so that you can go out and tactically do a mission, you know, however you want to do it, is really great when you have low risk equipment to fall on. So moving on here, let's get on to the second edition here. So we are moving from the tactical edition now to the elite edition, and let's see what we get in addition to that. So in addition to the items that you get from the starting equipment, you get an additional 5,000 in-game currency, which is great. The 3x2 lockbox, a 10x45 locker, and an additional assault rifle, 2 more grenades, 3 assault rifle magazines, 180 assault rifle ammunition, 2 rifle scopes, which are awesome. Those are like, you want a scope, you want some kind of optics on your weapon, because open sights aren't horrible, but they do take some getting used to. The game does have a skill gate, I would say, as far as actual player skill. Trying to land those shots with open sights can be difficult. So scopes and optics and all that kind of stuff is super helpful. So you're getting some really good value here. So another helmet, another plate carrier, which is crucial because you do take a lot of shots. I mean, the difference between, you know, just a normal carrier and a plate carrier can be like night and day in a combat situation. You're getting dropped constantly. It's most likely because you don't have a plate carrier or you don't have very good body armor. It does come into play in the game. Another belt, 1 backpack, an additional backpack, 2 more med kits, another headset, 1 combat meal, 1 water, 1 splint, 1 surgical kit, 1 tourniquet, 1 painkiller, 1 blood bag, and 2 stimulators. Now, see, I don't know what a stimulator is. I never ran into that during the creator playtest, but I think that would be really cool to have. I think that there's times when you're injured and your guy gets dizzy or he gets confused. Maybe it's a way to mitigate that when you're in the field. I'm not sure, but they're throwing one in here on the Elite Edition for you guys to use. And that edition is going to be coming in at $79. Which is a little bit more of a commitment, a little bit more than what you'd maybe pay for a modern game being released today by most publishers. You know, So there is a little bit of weight there. If you are not looking to make that much of an equipment, there's the other 2 tiers, which are still great. They're still great here. So we're going to move from Elite to the Supporter Edition. This is the edition that I intend to purchase. I want these guys to win. I love what they're doing. I love the transparency of the studio. I love the people in the studio that we've had the pleasure of meeting through either directly on social media or through developer interviews, or like today, like the developer roundtable. It's just really great. They just seem like really great people, and I want them to win. So I am going to commit as much as I can to helping them this way. And Merrick did say that during the early access release, the support edition will be available, but once that's gone, there will be a revision, it sounded like, to the editions that will be available to players. So if you want to be a supporter and get some of these special little in-game perks and stuff that don't appear to be too over the top, but do denote that you actually did support them this way. So let's keep going here. So we get a locker size of 10 by 60, which is gonna be great. That's one of the things that you're gonna have to manage. And they did mention today that there is going to be a sort button. They have a sort button available already, but it's not quite operating the way that we might think. So there's still a little bit of manually sorting in there. Either way, having the locker space is great, and as long as we have it, that's all that really matters. You know, how you utilize it, or how messy you are, or how organized you are, can really play into your stash size. So just keep that in mind. So secure lockbox, that's that lockbox that you're carrying around with you. You get a 3x3 secure lockbox, which is awesome because most of the care related items in the game, as far as like consumables for bandaging yourself up after a really tough firefight, or magazines or water, those things take up 2 slots. So you're able to rotate inventory the way you can in most user interfaces that are similar to Gray Zones. So you can rotate it to try and fit more items, but having that 3x3 space is going to be really great and super helpful, because even in the beginning you get access to a lot of keys to your starting town, and they're all really great to just keep on you, because most of those areas that you jump into that have a key have loot, good loot for you. So you want to make sure you keep those keys on you. All right, so let's see what we get. We get a Gray Zone Warfare t-shirt in game, a Gray Zone Warfare set of gloves in game, special supporter color name, exclusive support badge, and an additional 5,000 in-game currency. So let's move into the actual equipment here. So we get an assault rifle, an additional rifle, which is great. We ran into the M700 towards the end of our playthrough during the creator playtest, and that gun was solid. I wanted to find some more attachments and stuff for it, but unfortunately it ran out of time. But I am going to be using some of that time to try and build out this rifle. So anyways, I just wanted to throw that in there. So 2 grenades, 3 rifle magazines, 120 rifle ammunition, 3 suppressors, which are awesome, especially if you're playing solo. Suppressors really do work great. They draw less attention. If you're running around solo, you really don't want a lot of attention, because you got to watch a lot of angles sometimes when you're in the middle of those little towns or those little areas that are kind of cramped. So having a suppressor really helps. Another helmet, another armor plate carrier, another backpack key holder. Oh, that's great. Med kit, headset, splint, surgical kit, tourniquet, painkillers, and a blood bag. So the addition of the key holder sounds great. That's one of those things that I was just mentioning. You know, having keys on you is something that you want to try and maintain. I think, you know, if you do die, you are going to lose it. If you die and you can't get back to your body for some reason, you're going to lose that inventory. So having some kind of a key ring, maybe even in your secure lockbox, would be really cool, and a great way to minimize the amount of space taken in your inventory from keys, because they do take up a 1x1 square. So I'm visualizing maybe like a 1x1 square that's got maybe a stack limit on it or something. That would be really cool. So anyways, that's all of the support, or all of the additions, and this last edition clocking in at $99.99. Only available during early access. So if you want to be one of those supporters that goes above and beyond to support Madfinger Games and all the stuff that they're doing here in Gray Zone Warfare. That's a great addition for you to jump into. And I think for now, that's it. So you guys, tell me, what do you think? What do you think of these tiers? What do you think of the gear? Do you have any questions? If you do, let me know. I'll do my best to answer them in the comment section below. If you found this video helpful, please make sure that you hit the like button, subscribe for more Gray Zone Warfare information, news, and media for me, Dr. Wiki, and I'll catch you on the next one.